Hello and welcome to a new week. In today's edition of The Marketplace, the World Bank supports extension of debt service suspension initiative by 6 months for Ghana and other developing and emerging countries. We have details on this story. Also, government exceeds Treasury bill sale target for the third week running, indicating some investor interest in the economy.
The target for this auctioning was 733 million cedis, meaning the government exceeded its target by 60.9 million cedis.
Plus, in case you missed, we bring you a wrap of the 2-day mini clinic of the JoyNews EcoBank Habitat Fair.
To Ghana office, and we've gone through their portfolio, and so far it's been okay. Their designs are pretty good.
Considering the companies here, it's very impressive.
And later in the bulletin, tanker drivers issue a 48-hour ultimatum for the termination of the MPA boss Al-Hassan Tampoli's appointment. We have details on these coming up shortly after this break. Hello once again, I'm Charles Aite with the details. Now, the World Bank is supporting the extension of the Debt Service Suspension Initiative, DSSI, by 6 months for Ghana and other developing and emerging countries. It will also examine by the time of next year's spring meeting if the economic and financial situation of these countries requires to extend further the DSSI by another 6 months. Now, this move will cushion Ghana and many developing countries from shocks brought by COVID-19 that has slowed down the fiscal consolidation process. The Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, who chaired the Development Committee of the annual IMF World Bank meeting, had earlier pushed for an extension of repayment of debts by African countries because of their economic state. In a communique, the World Bank said that all official bilateral creditors should implement this initiative fully and in a transparent manner. We shall be following this closely to give you details as and when it unfolds. But away from this story, government has exceeded its Treasury bill sale target for the third week running, showing some interest by investors in the economy. Now, the Bank of Ghana sold bets worth 793.9 million cedis of short-term securities, including the 1-year half notes on behalf of the government. Charles Nexineboa has more on the trading results.
Target for this auctioning was 733 million cedis, meaning the government exceeded its target by 60.9 million cedis. This is compared to the previous week's 876 million cedis target, which government surpassed by 43 million cedis. From the trading figures, the interest charge on the government instruments appears to have remained steady or coming down, albeit marginally. For instance, yield on the 91-day Treasury bill remained unchanged, but the interest on the 6-month bill fell by 0.03%. In the month of August, investors were demanding more yield when they were actually moving into other risk-free instruments that were giving them higher interest than the government treasuries. Indeed, data had indicated that the government treasury securities were priced at a rate of about 13.97% in the larger part of the second quarter of this year. Last month, Monetary Policy Committee report stated that interest rates on the money market saw mixed developments as rates on short to medium-term instruments eased, but generally tightened at the longer end in August this year.
Now, the president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. NAPO I, has called on the business community to deepen their support to the vulnerable in the wake of COVID-19. Now, he made this known when he donated items and foodstuffs, assorted items in that regard, to the Countryside Children's Welfare at Bodrasi. There is more in this report. Smiles were put on the faces of these children at the Countryside Children's Welfare Home at Bodrasi in the Central Region. This is the third time this year the president of the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. NAPO I, has donated items over 50,000 cedis to the vulnerable ones.
This presentation with clothing and shoes and other things seriously, just to give it to the mothers, to encourage them and to motivate them for taking care of these young ones without any other fee or salary.
Mr. Osoyewusu, the manager at the Bojuati Countryside Children's Welfare Home, who received the items, thanked Nana Dr. Apiaje Dankawoso I and his family for their continuous support to the home.
We are saying very big thank you to him and all those who supported him to come all the way to this our village to donate these items to us.
Speaking to Joy Business, the president of the chamber called on the business community to increase support for the vulnerable who are most exposed to the impacts of the coronavirus.
Continue to appeal to the business community, and that's as part of their corporate social responsibility, they should also look for such homes and do their best to support them.
Corporate social responsibility has been at the forefront of business development in Ghana amidst the coronavirus pandemic. Already, the private sector has contributed over $20 million to government's COVID-19 trust fund, all in a bid to help curb the spread of the virus and also its dire impacts on vulnerable groups. Well, government will tomorrow be announcing measures and programs aimed at supporting the private sector to take advantage of the Continental Free Trade Agreement. Now, the measures will be announced at a two-day national conference on the implementation of the pact, which opens in Accra tomorrow. President Akufo-Addo is expected to use the conference to spell out the government's commitment to the new trade deal that is expected to fully take off from January 1st, 2021. According to the news release from the Trade Ministry, the conference will bring together stakeholders from the private and public sectors to discuss Ghana's export development interventions aimed at empowering the private sector to harness the benefits of the Continental Free Trade Agreement area. And you should be assured that we shall bring you details on this conference as it kickstarts tomorrow. Well, the Nation Builders Corps is assuring its trainees in the public and private sector permanent jobs. Now, NAPO program currently gives temporal jobs to over 23,000 trainees in the Ashanti region. The regional coordinator of NAPO, Dennis Kakwa, says government will transition trainees onto a permanent job structure. He was speaking at a cleanup exercise organized by NAPO at the Adishia Market and its environs in Kumasi to mark the second anniversary of the program. Live FM's Anita Sewa Ajoga has more in this report.
The Nation Builders Corps is a government initiative which seeks to solve graduates' unemployment in the country. Beneficiaries currently enjoy a fixed 750 Ghana cedi monthly stipend. But Regional Coordinator Dennis Kwakwa says government is working to fix the trainees on permanent jobs in the public and private sectors. He was speaking after a cleanup exercise organized by NAPO to mark its second anniversary.
Well, our second anniversary is the beginning of transitioning them from the NAPO program onto a permanent job scheme. And so we have three exit pathways that is before the NAPO trainees. Those who want to work in government sectors are going to choose, and government is going to get them the clearance to be employed fully. Those who want to be in entrepreneurship, government is going to support them with the needed support. In fact, those who will come out with very innovative ideas that could employ more than 10 people can benefit from more than 100,000 scheme from the offices of NAPO and then Maslow. And then those of them who still think they have to continue their education from this moment, we believe government can support them through scholarships. So these are the three fundamental exit pathways.
The NAPO trainees welcomed government assurance of permanent jobs. Dennis Opoku Katechie is national president for the Association of NAPO trainees.
We petitioned the government to permanently employ all NAPO trainees, all because we do remember where we were at first. And of course, after the end of the program, we are not wishing to go back to where we were. So we appeal to the president and stakeholders to make us permanent at our various institutions and agencies. And of course, we are all testifying, witnessing the air blowing here and there, that our permanent job petition is granted And of course, things are being underway. There has been a lot of consultations with the stakeholders, mode implementation partners on how all NAPO trainees can be made permanent at our various institutions. Of course, not all NAPO trainees are interested in permanent job. Some of them are willing to also be entrepreneur. And of course, per what we are hearing, there has been a provision for about 20,000 NAPO trainees, those who are willing to also establish their own business. And of course, what we want to tell the government is that we really appreciate what we are hearing, and we know very well that from next week, our various portals are going to be updated. There's going to be a series of workshops for NAPO trainees at their various district levels and regional levels. These are all processes that we are supposed to go through to ultimately get our permanent job.
Anita Sewa Ajogan reporting.
You're still watching The Marketplace. Now to one of our top stories. The Ghana National Petroleum Drivers Tanker Union has issued a 48-hour ultimatum to President Akufo-Addo to terminate the appointment of the Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, Alhassan Tampoli. The drivers are accusing Mr. Tampoli of shirking his responsibility in helping resolve several challenges of the union. Chairman of the Tanker Drivers Union, Samuel Osari Bediako, has been speaking to Joy Business after a news conference in Tema a while ago.
The challenges that we are having, number one, is about our condition of service, which we sent it to the President 2017. He listened very carefully to us. He directed us to MPA, Chief Executive, to address our issue, which we respect. Since then, up to now, the challenge is still hanging. Tanker drivers, as I speak to you now, our salary is 1,700 Ghana cedis, which even we are not getting because of temperature shortages, transit losses. Because I agree with the transporters, they bought the car for us to drive, all right? But when we load on the road, they are not there. When we come back and we bring shortage, they take the shortage against us. And a committee has been formed to look at that, which we have a record on it. But MPA as a regulator, if you realize some depots are not complying, what do you supposed to do? You stop those depots from operating. As you can stop the tankers from operating when they are at fault. You stop dealers from operating when they are at fault. But how come the depots, some of them, when they are not operating properly, they are not following the rules and regulations? That one you cannot stop them. So we can see clearly that MPA is not fair for we tanker drivers. Therefore, we are calling for his removal because we can see that he's not in the position to help all of the stakeholders. We haven't done this before, okay? We salute him, we respect his office very well, but for this particular point, we are giving him 48 hours, all right, to hear our challenges, okay? We will not force him to dismiss somebody, but we can see that Alhassan Tampoli, with his doing or with what he's doing over there, he's not ready to help with the careers, the tanker drivers as a whole, because in UPPF margin, every stakeholder have their margin, except tanker drivers. Except tanker drivers. What is happening?
Thank you.
Thank you too.
We have more business stories coming up shortly. First, though, let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of Stanbic Bank, Alhassan Andane, is advocating a new approach to financing Ghana's agricultural sector. He wants financing tied in with market availability, insisting that it is the only way more financial institutions will be comfortable funding agriculture. Statistics show that although the agri sector contributes about 25% of the nation's gross domestic product, GDP, less than 10% of banking sector financing goes to the sector. Mr. Andane has been speaking at a session on agri financing at the Kofi Annan Enterprise Hub for Agricultural Innovation at the West Africa Center for Crop Improvement at the University of Ghana. Well, he believes that agri sector financing is a key issue the manifestos of major political parties must address.
It
It was a great model, and I must say that, of course, the Venerable Kofi Annan was behind it, and in fact, the initial project manager is no less the person than the current president of the Africa Development Bank, King Addison. I mean, I worked with Akin on thinking through that process and actually launching it. It was $100 million guaranteed funding, limited guarantee funding, 25 million for Ghana, 25 for Tanzania, I think 25 million for Uganda, about 25 million for 4 of the Standard Bank countries. So Standard Bank Group did $100 million with AGRA. Yes, we started to roll it out in Ghana, but as with everything else, you need to be able to sustain and replicate it. And the distribution of that was problematic, as I said, largely because of the nature of client selection. So the client selection criteria was quite tough, and also recovery was a bit difficult. But I think the idea is a great idea, and even if it was not taken, if it didn't kind of give us the benefit we wanted, we should always go back and see how we can improve that. So it would have worked perfectly and even be replicated and multiplied if we were funding farmers feeding into a larger marketing channel. But every farmer we finance was on his or her own. That's the trouble.
Now, the Ashanti Regional Agricultural Directorate of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture is projecting a sharp growth in the Planting for Food and Jobs program. Now, this will be achieved through the application of organic fertilizer in the vegetable component of the government agric program, especially in the Ashanti region. The Regional Director of the Agriculture, Reverend John Menu, revealed this at an event in Kumasi, where Prince Apia now reports.
The region in 2017 had 20,000 farmers participating in the Planted for Food and Jobs program. As at August this year, the numbers have increased to 218,000 farmers in the program. Regional Agric Director Reverend John Menu projects a significant growth with corresponding increase in production when the region successfully adapts the use of organic fertilizers.
Organic fertilizers are very good for our vegetables. And as I was saying, vegetables are crops that take very short lifespan to produce. Within 1 month, 2 months, latest by 2.5 months, you are harvesting. And most of chemicals or inorganics, it takes a long time for their residue to break down. But the organics, they just break down within the shortest possible time. That's the reason why some of us are so happy about the use of organic products and precisely the fertilizer on our vegetables. The vegetables are crops that with little or no cooking, you can just harvest, the next 1 hour you are eating. So if you have to pump or add some inorganics, that will have some residue and takes about 2 or 3 months before it breaks down. Then it becomes worrying. And for this region, the scale of planting for food and job, as far as vegetable production and other crops are concerned, is going up. By the end of November, the season for the supply of subsidy will go down. But people are still asking for, more inputs. And it implies come next year, there's going to be that sharp increase in production.
Now, acquiring or furnishing a home became very much easier for patrons at the 2-day mini clinic of the JoyNews EcoBank Habitat Fair, which ended over the weekend with the headline sponsor EcoBank offering prospective clients various mortgage solutions to acquire their dream houses. For those of you who missed out on the mini clinics over the weekend, here's a wrap of the 2-day event.
I think Joy FM should go on to do this every year to encourage those who are not in the position to buy it outright to get this opportunity.
I came to Ganaba, the estate developers, and we've gone through their portfolio. And so far, it's been okay. Their designs are pretty good, and the locations of their lands as well. They have very, very interesting locations. So yes, I think we'll pick it up from there and see what else they have to offer.
Considering the companies here, it's very impressive.
It has been awesome. It has helped us a lot. We've gotten a lot of clients who have shown interest in our products, so it has been awesome.
How affordable are your products?
I wouldn't say they are affordable. They are quality.
They are quality?
Yes.
I see this door here. Is it made from like natural wood or something?
No, it's not wood. It's galvanized steel.
Galvanized steel?
Yes.
Okay.
That has been covered with PVC finishing.
Okay. Okay, I see. So you cannot break through this door, right?
No. Highly unlikely. You can't.
Highly unlikely. Interesting stand is that of the Planned City Extension, where we are learning about the rent-to-own strategy if you want to acquire a home for yourself. How has the entire scene been like for you so far?
Yeah, it was great, and we are having customers come in, potential customers come in, and then they are showing interest. So this is a good opportunity for everyone to have the opportunity to get their own house over a period of time. We say that if you register with us, you make a payment of 499 Ghana cedis. That means
499 cedis.
Yes, please. Okay. And then you make an initial deposit of 3,000. And then we have a threshold up to 25 years. If you choose the site that we are going to build for you, you choose the type of property that you want, then we start building for you.
I think it's a good initiative, and I hope it runs for a very long time.
He hopes it runs for a very long time. I'll leave it to it. These are parts of patrons here, taking part of the Planned City Project's information desk. Now, it's very important. If you have your house, you acquire a home, you'd have to keep safe, away from fire. And these guys are doing just that, offering their sales to customers. Anyone around to help us understand how the entire exhibition has been so far? You are here to get yourself some stuff, I believe. But how has it been so far as a patron of the JoyNews Habitat Fair?
As a patron of the JoyNews Habitat Fair, actually it was out of curiosity that I came. But I've been enlightened by the Planned City Extension Project.
The rent-to-own.
Rent-to-own, and I'm very much interested in that.
I see. So you just go check it out yourself and don't miss out on anything. You have checked it out yourself already?
Yes.
And what was the feedback?
The feedback is encouraging, and I think I'll buy into it.
I have a 5-year payment plan. You pay 35% first year, and then you pay 65% the next 4 years. I think, yes, that's the reason why people are here. Yes.
So how has the Habitat Fair been so far?
So far, I would say the turnout has been great. We have people coming to our station, asking what we do, asking about houses. So I think that has been great.
Mouth-watering discounts, and exhibitors and patrons are all satisfied with how things have been so far at the West Hills Mall. Well, so I checked out the stuff for myself, the product lines in that regard, making housing, home acquisition, furnishing very much easy. And of course, we shall be bringing the dates for the next Habitat Fair. You want to stay tuned for that. My name is Charles Aite. Many thanks for watching.